Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and welcome to the very first installment of the Wrestlefest podcast. This has been a long time coming. Here on this podcast, I'm going to be covering everything, all the ins and outs of professional wrestling. Now, with that said, let me preface by saying I'm a busy man with not a lot of spare time on my hands. So my main focus for this particular cast at the moment going to be, kind of all things WWE and AEW. Yes, I'm aware of the overall love for other, wrestling companies as well, a lot of independent companies. I'm aware of, the love for Ring of Honor and NWA and TNA and, New Japan and just all of that stuff, okay? However, again, I don't have time for all of those things, so what I do have time for is the two main companies at the moment with the most TV time here in the United States. So, that being said, I'm going to kick off this first installment with a predictions, kind of list for the upcoming Crown Jewel pay-per-view from WWE. Quick thoughts here about WWE. We've gotten a lot of different highs and lows from WWE recently. Especially the last few years or so. Yeah, a lot of good things from SmackDown, not so great things from Raw, and NXT kind of floating somewhere, sometimes in the middle and sometimes just way behind. Raw has been better recently, which is a good thing going forward, and I think the draft will help shake things up. Again, my thoughts on that is just I hate the format of only certain wrestlers are only on certain shows. I don't mind the brand splits, like it having their definitive, titles and whatever the case may be. I just think it's stupid to have, this person's only on Friday and this person's only on Monday. Just let everybody wrestle all days. Let's just get everybody on TV. Because they say, originally that was just for, we need to get some more faces and get more talent out there and being able to do that, but it was just never a thing. It just never happened. So it's kind of a silly thing to split the superstars up like that, but I digress. More about pro wrestling, touch on that real quick. AEW, my thoughts there. Love AEW, okay? Love Dynamite, love Rampage, love what they're doing over there. Tony Khan is really killing it, right? They're letting wrestlers be wrestlers, have more control over their characters. It's that kind of older school style storytelling and wrestling. It's hard hitting, fast paced, but they can still tell a story, right? We've seen CM Punk come in wrestling, recently, and being able to tell a story through wrist locks and headlocks. Okay, so pure wrestling and old school style still kind of holds up today. So let's get back to it. Let's get back to Crown Jewel. Coming up soon here at time of this upload and recording, it'll be tomorrow, right? Thursday, October 21st, 12 p.m. Eastern. Now that's obviously because the event is taking place live in Saudi Arabia. So they're getting it I think it's 7 p.m., whatever the start time is over there. It's 12 p.m. here. 11 a.m. you can get the kickoff show. And I've seen that apparently at 10 a.m. you're going to get a special Ultimate Crown content that's going to have apparently some in-depth kind of specials about the king and queen of the ring, quote-unquote stuff, okay? So, that being said, let's get right into the card. I don't have a specific order for the card because the order is always subject to change, up until the very last moment. They generally don't put the order of the card out beforehand. It's just the card is set and then they go with it from there. They change it as they need to, up to and including during some of the shows sometimes. So they've done that in the past. So we know they've changed the card around and changed matches around on the fly as far as the order goes. So I'm just going to kick off, kind of roll into, the first matches that don't have any titles involved or anything like that, and I'll just kind of roll into the title matches. So first, we're going to talk about Mansoor versus Mustafa Ali. My thoughts on this is that Mansoor has kind of been on the come up recently. He's very talented. We know how good Mustafa Ali is. I think a large reason we're getting this match is because it is in Saudi Arabia. They have a kind of a rivalry going, which is, it's fine. No titles involved. It's just they turned up the dial real fast on this rivalry, I think, to get this match on the card. Again, it is in Saudi Arabia. It's Mansoor's hometown, etc., etc. So I have Mansoor winning here. I don't know by what means or anything. I just think for the sake of this rivalry, I don't know how long they're going to play this out. So if they kind of want this to conclude here because they were a tag team and Mustafa Ali was kind of playing mentor for Mansoor, bringing him up, and now they had the quick split, quick rivalry. I think Mansoor picks up the W here in what should be actually a very good match, and that's it. I think this storyline ends here, and who knows what they do with either of the superstars going forward. So I'm gonna move right into the finals of now this one is titled the Queens of the Crown. I'm not sure why they strayed away from calling it Queen of the Ring. I guess they wanted to kind of separate it, but I don't know. A lot of people are just calling it Queen of the Ring anyway, so I don't understand why they needed to do that. Anyway, we got Zelina Vega versus Doudrop. I flip-flopped on this match, picking a winner because I didn't expect Doudrop to be in this position, right? I expected Shayna Baszler to pick up the win, come into the finals, and then I guess it kind of would have been an easy pick, right? It would have just been Shayna Baszler. Like there's no reason for otherwise for her not to have picked up the win in the finals. So having Doudrop in the finals was very interesting. She's getting a big push. Does it continue with this match? I don't know. I didn't know what to go with here. So my gut is telling me that this could go one of two ways, obviously, as all these things always can. But I think I have Zelina Vega picking up the win. And in which case, I also have that coming via some sort of interference from Shayna Baszler, which continues a rivalry between her and Doudrop. Now, I don't know how feasible that is, but that's just the way I picked it. Okay, so moving right along. Let's get to the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. Now, obviously, these things haven't meant what they've meant in the past. Mostly just been filler, just to get to the finals. It's kind of a shtick, and it's a gimmick thing at this point. It's no longer who's the best wrestler. It's just put some guys in for who we know who we want in the finals, and whatever the case may be. So we got Finn Balor versus Xavier Woods. This is going to be a very good match. Okay. It's not a match that's going to steal the show, but it's going to be very entertaining. You're not going to want to go for a bathroom break during this match. I got Xavier Woods picking up the win. I just think I like this matchup here because it could go either way. The Finn Balor, the Prince to the King thing, but Xavier Woods as King would just be that you can ride that out. That's going to be entertainment you'd be able to ride out for a long time. Okay, we saw what Booker T did with the King Booker gimmick. Okay, that's you can ride that out for a long time, which I think Xavier would make it super entertaining. And not capitalizing on that, I just think it would be a poor decision, which WWE has made plenty of over the years. Moving right along. We've got the no holds barred match between Bobby Lashley and Goldberg. I'm not sure what they're doing with Bobby Lashley anymore. He very quickly fell out of the title picture. Okay. I just don't know. Is he going on vacation? Is he taking some time off? Who knows? And this is, I just don't know. I have Goldberg winning this match. I just think, given the promo leading up and just how everything's going, we're going to see a much more visceral Goldberg. I don't know how this match is going to play out. I don't know what's to become of Bobby Lashley. Win or lose, we know what happens to Goldberg after this, right? He's not a full-time wrestler. You know, he can only do but so much. So he fades back into the shadows after this match either way. Bobby Lashley, on the other hand, I just don't know. They've got the Hurt Business thing going again, so who knows? But I got Goldberg picking up the win, and we'll see what happens from there. Next up, we have the Hell in a Cell match between Edge and Seth Rollins. Now, if you want to talk about a match that can steal the show, here it is right here. Okay? No titles involved, just flat out wrestling, storyline, and a brutal natured match. This is what you're going to get. This is going to be a hell of a match. Again, this is not you want to have your popcorn ready for this one. In fact, forget not taking a bathroom break. You need to have everything you need ready. You don't even want to get up for this one. Edge they've got him at his angriest right now, and that's a fun Edge to watch in the ring. And Seth Rollins is just damn good at what he does. Period. And this is that rubber match. This is the third match in this little series here. I have Edge picking up the win. I don't know where. I think this Edge picking up the win here lets them put a close to this storyline. Maybe let Edge take a little bit of time off. And then I don't know what they do with Seth Rollins here, because you could do anything with Seth Rollins. That's the problem. Do they start to shift gears with him and maybe transition to putting him back into the title picture? Who knows? We shall see. Next up, we have the Raw Tag Team title match. Orton and Riddle, the champions, RK Bro, versus AJ Styles and Omos. This is another match that I flip-flop, went back and forth with a little bit here, just because the going forward after this, I just don't know. Now this is my prediction, and I'm going to stick with it. I chose one. And again, based on who won this match is how I saw things going afterwards. But I have Orton and Riddle retaining the titles. However, I see them, because I think the Orton and Riddle thing has to end at some point. Well, naturally, it does have to end at some point. But I think I have it coming to an end soon, because I think Riddle has proven himself enough as a singles performer. Some of these matches he's had recently, especially one a few weeks ago with AJ Styles, was just incredible. He's excellent in the ring. And I think this time that they put him with Orton to boost up his cred a little bit has really helped. It's really worked. And I think it's now time for the split. Okay? But I see them retaining here, which you would just think would be easier for them to lose here. But I have them retaining here and then losing to the Street Profits at some point soon thereafter. Okay? And I have AJ Styles and Omos splitting. I don't know when, but I have these little gems that Omos has been dropping. That's kind of like, I'm getting ready to turn a corner here and go out and try to dominate on my own. At some point in time, I think the angle is going to be like, hey, AJ Styles is holding me back. Like, I could be dominating people. And I just see that playing out as a storyline at some point. I don't know when, but I have that happening. All right. Next up, we have Big E versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. Oh, how I love me some Big E and some New Day in general. But Big E, he deserves this run that he's on. He's put in the work. He's got the fans behind him just naturally, right? He's entertaining. He's good on the mic. He's got charisma. He's good in the ring. He's athletic. He can do things people his size shouldn't be able to do. He is freakishly strong. Big E's the whole pack. If Big E was like 6'4", man, he would be Vince McMahon's golden child, right? But even still, even without the height, like, you can't deny him. Like, he's just too good. And he is just being him, and this is refreshing. And the fact that he's on Raw has been great for that brand. Needless to say, I have Big E retaining here. Drew McIntyre is great and all of that. That's fine. But he gets his he's going to continue to get opportunities down the road. Who knows what he'll do after this, but I don't see them taking the strap off of Big E just yet. Not versus Drew. These kind of matches is for Big E to build himself up as the face of the brand. All right, he is going to be the face of Raw. So they have to continue to build him up with credible matches against credible opponents, such as Drew McIntyre. I think it's going to be a hard-fought match. He's not going to steamroll Drew. It's going to be a slug him out dogfight match. You know, two men slapping meat, right? But Big E is going to get the win here in a hard-fought match, and respect to both of them, and it's going to be a good match. Next up, we have the triple threat match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Champion Becky Lynch defending against Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. Here's another match I had a hard time calling because of previous lead-ups. I 1,000, all right, maybe not 1,000%, but I was majority in the camp that Bianca was going to take the Raw title off of Charlotte on this past Monday Night Raw, which would have made this an easy pick for me to just say Sasha Banks was going to win this match, take her title back to SmackDown, and then Bianca and Becky go to Raw and fight things out. And then Charlotte is going to be Charlotte over on SmackDown. But I guess that would have been too obvious. So this is going to be interesting because now Charlotte starts SmackDown Friday as the reigning Raw Women's Champion. And I think if that's the angle they're going with, I think one of the Raw women wins this match, takes the SmackDown Women's title over to Raw, and then we get an interesting gimmick where at some point we'll get a match where we're going to flip-flop titles, or I wish this would happen, but I know it won't. They unify these titles and we get one belt, but obviously for brand reasons, can't do that, I guess, huh? So I have Bianca Belair recapturing the SmackDown Women's title, taking it to Raw, and continue a feud of sorts with Becky Lynch. You know, the strangest feud in history because Becky is still a white hot babyface that they're having a hard time putting over as a heel. People just love Becky, and it was too soon and they tried to flip a switch and make her a heel, and it's just not working out so well. It's slowly kind of happening, but it's awkward. It's still awkward. So Bianca picks up the W and takes the title back to Raw. Now, granted, there could be a situation here where you see Sasha pick up the win, and then both titles are on SmackDown, that would be interesting too. That could happen. We'll see what happens. And finally, the match for the Universal Championship between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. The quality of this match should be good. Frankly, however, I don't think this is the match that wins like top match of the show. I think this will be the most entertaining match of the show. It's just, Roman is great. Roman has carried the company on his back for the last year and a half. If not for the things that Roman was doing on SmackDown, and as bad as Raw was, WWE would have been in a tough spot, especially with AEW coming in as hot and as fast as they did. Brock Lesnar is Brock Lesnar. I don't know, I like this older Brock. He's still a beast, but he's just kind of like, yeah, seasoned vet. Like, it's like, yeah, I've been here. I've done this. Like, you're trying to get to my level. Like, I've been here. Like, I've walked this path already. The Paul Heyman angle has been great. They made it about the A story first, and then continuously kind of gradually build up the B plot with Paul Heyman. Oh, who's he? And every week it was something new. It was, oh, why didn't you tell Roman I was gonna be at SummerSlam, and and I'm a free agent. Thank you, Paul Heyman. And then this last the past SmackDown, where, you know, Brock was just like, well, I went over the contract with my advocate, Paul Heyman, and then just leaves. Like, I love this B plot going into Crown Jewel, where does Paul Heyman's allegiances lie? Well, nobody knows, or we do kind of know, but who knows? I have Roman Reigns retaining the title in a dogfight. This will probably be the match that he's been tested on the most. But he can't lose here. And then the train that they're on leading up to, I don't know, WrestleMania next year. Here's the thing. This could, just like a lot of these matches, for good reasons, can go one way or another. Roman wins, keeps on the train to heading towards next year's WrestleMania, where maybe he might fight The Rock. Who knows, right? For family supremacy. But what do they do between now and then? You can't have this back and forth between Brock now because he's beaten him, right? And Brock's not a full-time wrestler. But the problem on the other side is that if Brock wins, the good thing is that you get to continue the storyline. You can extend this time frame a little bit, this kind of back and forth. Give, Roman this things to do, right? Through Survivor Series and such. But the problem is, as I just mentioned, is that Brock's not a full-time wrestler. It's hard to put the strap on a guy who's not going to be there every week. Which is why I have Roman retaining. Roman's going to retain. Brock might show up here and there, cause a nuisance. He might ask for a rematch. I don't know. I don't see that happening, but what they do going forward, I guess, is kind of irrelevant for my prediction. Roman Reigns is going to retain. So that's it. That's the card in a whole. I think this is a good card. There's going to be some good wrestling matches on this card. Overall, I think this is going to be, a B plus kind of show. Ish. In that ballpark range, I think. Some of these matches are going to be really good. That women's triple threat match is going to be excellent. Xavier versus Finn Balor. Edge versus Seth Rollins. You're going to get some great matches. You're going to get some great... heck, Big E against Drew is going to be a good match. You're going to get some great entertainment from Roman and Brock. So, again, I think this will be a decent show. It'll definitely be worth the time to watch. I think it'll help fill the gaps heading towards the next, pay-per-view. I guess we're in October. I'm pretty sure Survivor Series should be next after this. That's usually in November. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, those are my predictions. Tell me what you think. I could be wrong. I'm probably going to I'm going to be wrong on some of these, but I'm definitely going to come back, cross-reference this when I come back and talk about this really quickly next time I come around. See how I did, right? And I'm Flash, and thank you guys for joining me for the very first installment of the Wrestlefest podcast. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, right? Throw some comments, get the conversation going there for me. I'd appreciate it. And thank you. I will catch you guys next time.